Candyman, 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 Candyman. Candyman stars Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, Teyana Paris, and is directed by Nia DaCosta. What's up, guys? If you were to ask me what two movies are the most highly anticipated horror films of 2021, I would probably say Halloween Kills and Candyman. They're two just very beloved properties. Candyman, I've only seen the first one. I completely adore that movie. It's wonderful. It's unique. Has like an urban vibe to it, which is always nice when you can change up the flavor in a horror movie. There's also a very romantic element to it. And how do you top Tony Todd? Tony Todd is a horror icon, and he is Candyman. He owns that role. We will not be talking about Tony Todd in this spoiler-free review, just so you guys know, okay? And I'll say, because of the nature of the first movie and how this one interweaves itself with the fabric of that movie so well, I got to be very careful about what I can even tell you in a non-spoiler review for this movie, okay? And it's a personal thing for me because I don't like spoiling movies that are what I would call very sensitive in terms of things that you would and would not want to know, especially if you're a fan of the original. So just know that if this review feels pretty vague, I'm going to give you the overall gist of, I guess the broad strokes about this movie. Because you're just going to enjoy it that much more once you go into it. But I will say it's freaking brilliant. I love it. So if you don't want to watch any more, go ahead and head on out. But like I said, I'm going to be careful. You're safe in my hands, okay? But first off, let's give you a quick plot synopsis. Yahya Abdul-Mateen II plays Anthony McCoy. He is our main character. His last name is McCoy. I like that. But he's an artist who lives in Chicago, and he's always been fascinated with this myth of Cabrini Green. That is the location in the original movie, that's pretty run down, pretty much a discarded urban community, and that's kind of what brought life to the Candyman legend. If you know the urban legend about the original Candyman, Daniel Robitelli, he was an artist and had an affair with one of his subjects who was white, and so that caused the town to turn against him and kill him violently. And so, of course, our main character, Anthony, is very interested in this story, and also, the legend of Candyman, and how if you say his name 5 times in the mirror, he could come get you.
Candyman, 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 Candyman.
And I think that's kind of irresistible to people, especially like young people. Do you dare say? It's kind of like the Mother Mary thing. Do you dare say it? You shouldn't say it, but you kind of want to say it. You want to test the waters, and that just makes for a great platform for a good horror movie. But his wife is played by Teyana Paris. She plays Brianna. I think it's his wife. I can't remember if it's wife, his girlfriend. I think it's his wife. But she is an organizer of like art galleries, and I think that's how they ended up meeting each other. But this causes a rift in their relationship. But the thing about it is, the Candyman lore improves his art, because artists, painters, they have to have inspiration, and this is like the ultimate inspiration for him, and so his art just thrives and becomes much better, but at a cost. So this is kind of like an Alice in Wonderland thing. He goes further and further down the Candyman rabbit hole. I'm not going to tell you anything else as far as that goes. But I will say that this really grabs on to the first movie. The first movie is essential, I would say, before you even watch this movie, because there's a lot of elements from that movie that this one reaches back to. And I will say this is 100% a sequel, not a remake at all. You might call it a reboot, but it's definitely a sequel. Now, this movie is so great for a few reasons. I think it's got a very strong, satisfying script, keeps you riveted completely throughout the whole thing. There was not a dry moment in this movie. Nia DaCosta, I can see why she's going over to Marvel pretty soon, because she is a very talented director. And one reason is because it's just a beautiful looking film. You can tell that there's an artistic expression to the way she directs this movie. It's beautiful to look at. She uses a lot of different colors to kind of paint her message throughout this movie, which this movie does have a strong message to in certain parts. which you know that from the original Candyman. It pulls out a lot of themes like, you know, oppression and civil rights and all these different hot button issues, but it doesn't let those issues completely engulf the movie. You're still highly entertained. You still have this legendary character to grasp onto. And there's an air of mystery about just the legend of Candyman. And all of those aspects are in this movie. It definitely makes a great companion to the first movie. I haven't seen any of the sequels to the first movie. I would say you probably don't even need to, because this one I don't think references any of those other movies. Also, I'm gonna keep praising Nia DaCosta because the violence, I like a horror movie that is creative in terms of the way they deal with the violence. And the way Nia deals with it is she approaches every scene of violence from a different angle. You know, there's a lot of creativity, and she never really approaches it like head on. You know, a lot of times she'll throw some misdirection at you. Like there's one scene where she uses just like this little makeup mirror, and the camera's looking down at the makeup mirror, and all this crazy violence is happening in the room, and you just see it from the reflection of the mirror. And there's a lot of scenes like that in this, but let me say, it doesn't shy away from the gore and the violence and just the blood and guts. Oh my God, this is a horror fan's dream, this movie. You know, this is not a PG-13 Candyman movie at all, and thank God it's not. I'd say it definitely has that Jordan Peele feel to it, but I don't want to give Jordan all the credit here because this is definitely Nia DaCosta's baby, and she has proven herself as such a strong director. And this movie is so well directed that I can't wait to see what she does in the future. But guys, that's all I'm gonna say. I definitely want to do a spoiler review probably this weekend. Like, I have to talk spoilers about this movie because there's so much that I did not tell you in this. But I'm just gonna say you're going to love this movie if you're a fan of the original so much. Trapped on a freaking island, for sure. I felt like this movie was gonna be good, but I didn't expect it to be that great. And one of the most satisfying endings I think I've seen all year. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, I was chill bumps on the freaking ending of this movie. So anyway, once you see Candyman, let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day on Fridays, Review Free for Fridays. Follow me at Drumdums on all my socials. Support me on Patreon, buy me a coffee. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and Candyman. Oh shit, did I say it 5 times?